welcome back to the Avalaunch GameFi channel. This is Zach, also known as Trading Aloha on Twitter. Today I just wanted to touch on the esports market in general and how you can get involved now during the bear market and kind of set yourself up if you're looking to get involved as a player or potential streamer within the Web3 space. So if you kind of look at kind of the esports market and the overall stats and some of the key features that you should pay attention to as we kind of transition here from Web2 to Web3 gaming. And if Web3 gaming really does start to take off into next year and into 2023 and onward, where there's opportunities that could lie for you to get involved, not only as an investor but potentially as a player. And I think the esports market and the streamers is an area that's really gone untapped as far as getting involved and getting started early. You can see across multiple other platforms like players on Twitch playing Call of Duty, playing Dota, playing League of Legends, getting massive amounts of viewers, making tons of money through Twitch partnerships and YouTube partnerships and in esports tournament winnings. But as a streamer, if you're starting off now trying to get involved in Call of Duty, unless you've got something very unique to offer, or you cater to a certain type of fan, or you dress a certain way that makes you stand out from other streamers, you're really not going to get any traction because it's just oversaturated. And we'll kind of walk through the Twitch setup and how you can kind of set yourself apart there. But I think what's important to look at is the overall esports market, and I think a couple of these statistics do kind of a good job of laying that down. So you can see the average esports market revenue worldwide right now is just over 1 billion US dollars, and that's expected to grow. If you look at kind of the outlook from 2020 to 2025, you can see during COVID we saw an increase from about almost $1 billion in revenue up to 1.28, and even after COVID's kind of ending here, we're going to see that more than double by 2025. And I think we're seeing a little bit of a drawdown now as kind of COVID wraps up and people get back to work. But overall, streamers are slowly starting to grow. Esports is continuing to grow. And I think, the more interactive gaming experience we have between, influencers and esports players and their audience, the more we're going to see this continue to take off into 2025. And I think a lot of these charts depict that. And you look at, where does that revenue come from? And a lot of it's from sponsorships. And you see like almost $837 million of it over the last year has come in the form of sponsorships. And then, you got media rights, digital, and, $46.3 million, in revenue from streaming, which all are expected to grow over the next couple of years. And then you look at, how's the audience growing? Because that's kind of what you want. If this is something that you want to get started with, you want to become a streamer or some sort of influencer in the space of, either talking about games live on Twitch or YouTube or TikTok, or even streaming them, playing them live, you got to pay attention to, how is the viewership growing? And a lot of it's been centered around, esports enthusiasts, and that's made up almost, half of the audience in 2020. But slowly but surely, we're seeing occasional viewers, the casual gamer, or people just kind of browsing Twitch, tuning in and outnumbering the actual esports enthusiasts. And I think that's what you want to see. You want to draw in that, that casual gamer that just wants to log in, watch a stream, a couple of his favorite streamers, and they kind of start forming communities. Because you can see if you're in the Twitch space or you follow any particular large time streamer of any type game, whether it be Web 2 or Web 3, you kind of start developing that community because it's the same people that watch over and over again. And I think we've seen a lot of that happen in Discord too, for the projects that people kind of bond together and move from one place to another. And I think you'll see that a lot as these Web3 gaming communities grow. So it's something to keep an eye on. If these casual gamers start getting pulled in to watching some of these games and they find their way over to some Web3 communities, I think that's just another avenue where you can onboard players and investors a lot easier than having them find you through Twitter and Discord. And there's a couple interesting notes that we'll see here on the next couple of depictions of how these people find these games. So when you look at how are these new games being discovered, and I think that's where you really want to look when you're looking at Web3 gaming advertisements. This chart I found really interesting as I was kind of looking into how people found new games among people who are familiar with Twitch. So Highlighted here, you see the 18 through 34 age group, which I think is a vast majority of the people that we're talking about here. 34% of them found their other games in Discord, which is great. But how are they getting to these Discords was my first question. And I don't think a lot of them are getting there through, Twitter. As you can see, only 2% of 18 to 34-year-olds are finding these new games through Twitter. So I just don't see that conversion from Twitter to Discord being that big. They may be referred into Discord from another Discord, and then they find their way to Twitch. But a vast majority of the Web3 gaming advertisement is happening on Twitter, which is then leading to Discord or a Telegram group. And I think that's, where it dies. I think if you look, friends and family is a huge one, as on the internet, which we don't see a lot of with Web3 gaming. The marketing budgets are just not there. So 42% of people that are finding these new games on Twitch are finding them through ads on the internet, which don't exist for Web3. So you can toss that out. And then 49% of them are finding them on Twitch through, viewing other channels and suggested games. But there really is no Web3 gaming games being streamed on Twitch right now. So I think that's a huge, huge area that's just like not being explored. You've got ambassadors that could be, streaming those type of content on Twitch or YouTube or TikTok. And it's just channels that aren't being utilized right now. And it's basically free marketing. It doesn't cost anything to start these channels. But it's a way to get the name out there as opposed to getting stuck either buried by the Twitter algorithm or just setting yourself up in a different medium and exploring ways to get in front of an audience outside of Twitter, outside of Discord, and outside of Telegram, which all have their pros and cons. But if people are finding their way to Discord, they're usually they already know about the project, they've read about it, they know what they're getting into. It's the audience on Twitch that you're going to get those casual people that have no idea what it is, but they think the game looks cool from a preview, and they want to check it out, and they can learn more and see a real person, not a pitch deck, but a real person playing the game and interact with them, and then that develops their first experience either into the game or potentially even into Web3 gaming as a whole. So I think it's an interesting way to kind of explore a different approach here, and it is not being done. There is a huge opportunity here for people that are looking to get their foot in the door with either getting involved with projects, working with projects, or just doing it for fun and building up their own image and audience for potential either just for fun or maybe to generate some revenue through Twitch or YouTube advertising in the future. So really, when you look at like what's popular on Twitch, right? So let's take Twitch as the prime example, because that's where a lot of these games are being streamed on. What is the leading game type here, and it varies. So there's anything from Minecraft, League of Legends, Fortnite, pretty much anything is like the number one thing being streamed on Twitch. And you've got music, and you've got eSports and some live sports being broadcast, but in general, it's guys that are playing day in, day out, a couple hours a day, and just playing the games and interacting with their audience. So again, just showing the relationship here, that there's so much opportunity available for gaming and streamers. And then if you look at where do you want to start? If you're in the US and you're looking at what's popular, what platform is the best one to stream on, again, you'll see Discord down here at 14% of top people are watching these live streams on Discord. So you're missing a huge target for any potential like new or casual gamers. 47% of them are browsing or watching on Twitch. You got the other 40% on YouTube, 16% on Facebook, which I can't say I'm a big fan of, but it's better than Discord. And then you've got a handful of other ones that kind of walk their way down. But I mean, if you're in the US and you're looking to get started doing this, and you want to set yourself apart from the masses that are streaming Call of Duty and Minecraft, I think this Twitch and YouTube are a prime place to get started now and kind of set yourself apart. And then this kind of breaks down more if you're looking at just Twitch back in August, what was the all-time viewer high, and this is in billions, which is a lot. League of Legends is by far almost double the next game of Fortnite, and then you got Grand Theft Auto, and you kind of work your way down. But what's interesting is you can see even with 4 billion views, you've got Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. That game came out in 2015. So it's still being viewed like 7, 8 years later. It's still popular. So, I mean, these games that have come out years ago are still generating a huge viewership, and they still have quite the community that's built up. So, and I'm sure the people that are known and the ones that are being watched have built that, that audience over the years and have maintained that. So it's just another way to show, the opportunity is there for you to capture a target audience and just kind of build your own image and your own brand around Web3 gaming. It doesn't have to be like a specific game within that, area. It should be whatever you want, and just you can bounce around and play whatever game's interesting, and maybe you find one that you play for years, or you just kind of use this as a way to, showcase different games in Web3 and kind of become that subject matter expert in a certain type of game. Well, let's take a quick look over at Twitch. If you go to Twitch really quick and you look at Call of Duty Warzone, you can see right now there's 26,000 viewers and there's 18.1 million people following, this group of streamers. And you can see the channels that are live. It's tons of people that if you follow the space, at any given time, you see like 3,400 viewers, 30 viewers, 4,100. But the problem here is there's just pages on pages on pages on pages on pages of people streaming. And a lot of these guys have decent sized followings. So you're going to end up, if you're like, oh, cool, I want to become a Twitch streamer, you're going to start off, you're going to be all the way at the bottom, and no one's going to be scrolling down, all these hundreds of levels down to find your particular stream. It's just not that, you're just not going to be that interesting unless you're some crazy good person that, snipes playing a flute or using like a Guitar Hero to win a Warzone match, which a couple of these guys can do. You're never going to set yourself up apart. But if you want to do this on a Web3 aspect, and you look, okay, let's look Battle for Giostone, up and coming, game that's a MOBA that's going to focus on like eSports and streaming. Okay, they've run a couple pre-alpha tournaments 2 months ago, and those have 100 to 200, almost 400 views. Something that you probably wouldn't get at even streaming Call of Duty for months, day in, day out. You probably still wouldn't amass 400 views on a single video, just because of the oversaturation. But if you just downloaded the pre-alpha of Battle for Giostone, played around with it for a couple hours, stream's recorded, you may get a couple viewers while you're streaming it, but then it goes in your video on demand library, which people can watch over and over and over again. And as these games are released and people are searching for them, there's not a big oversaturation. You're going to be one of the first that pop up, which then just gives you those viewers, which depending on, how long you've been streaming and your ultimate goals for this, you'll start generating revenue from videos watched and, the ads that are displayed. And if you get people subscribing to your channel and more people tune into your live streams, and then you continue to just build your affiliate partnership that way. And you're helping out the Web3 community, kind of generating that interest from other people. So I think it's an excellent way to, set yourself apart. And it's something that I've, just kind of started doing over the past months or so. I've kind of neglected it just because my workload has been extremely high, but I think this is an avenue that I know myself I'm going to get involved in on both Twitch and YouTube. And I think I just wanted to make sure that I had the opportunity to share this with some of those people that, have asked me what can I do to get started, kind of in the gaming space, but I don't have a lot of experience, and I'm not like a technical expert or a tokenomics expert, or I'm not a good writer, but I love playing games. And if you have the time to dedicate to, streaming for a couple hours a day or 2 or 3 days, 4 days a week, I think this is an excellent opportunity for you to get involved early. You get yourself out there, you become a name that's known, to run these types of games when they come out, or the pre-alphas, or just kind of just doing your own review. I think you'll go far. I think if you deliver the information well, and develop, a community, You'll be surprised to see, projects reaching out to you, asking you to stream on their channel, to stream their game on your channel, and see where that goes. And that can just lead to all other potential doors opening for you. One more example, as I was kind of just looking around on Twitch to see exactly what games are out there that are kind of taking advantage of this early, and it looks like Dragon Crypto Gaming as well as one that has done quite a few streams on YouTube while they were developing out the game, but hadn't really explored the Twitch area. And kind of coming across their video that they did about 6 days ago now. They did one so far with another one scheduled. But it did get 9 total views over the last 6 days, which isn't a lot, but they do have 123 followers, which is more than most accounts that are new within the last 6 months or so. So they're developing that follower base out. They're building cross platform viewership on both YouTube and Twitch, and I think that's a great start. So it's good to see some of these the games themselves starting to realize this is a potential avenue that they could go, which doesn't cost them anything, and it just expands their audience. So I think it's great to see, and I think we're going to see more of that kind of continue as we move into 2023 and 24. I think if we're just talking what games should I be looking at to kind of maybe start this. And I think there's quite a few, within the Avalaunch ecosystem that would be a really good fit for a brand new, Twitch streamer who wants to start checking stuff out. I think the first one is Battle for Giostone. I think that's just a natural fit. MOBAs are one of the most watched games as far as eSports and streamers outside of first person shooters. So I think once that game is totally out and running and starts to be promoted a little bit, I think we'll start seeing those pop up a lot more. So I think now's a good time to get familiar with that. I think Shrapnel is going to have a huge following. It's already, kind of started blowing up off their trailer that they dropped a couple weeks ago, and their participation in TwitchCon last weekend actually was very well received. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that starting to become popular here on Twitch and YouTube, and more so on Twitter as well, as they start kind of ramping themselves up. I think once that's released, it's an excellent way, just to get started in the space. Games like Ascenders when it comes out, Imperium Empires, their PvP I think is another great one that you could jump in now and just kind of play around with and run a few streams. It's on my list as well, to kind of throw up there and take a look at what they got, and kind of display that. And then Dragon Crypto Gaming is another one that you could kind of walk through, which is a fully playable game. I mean, heck, I don't even know. I should have checked this out before, but let's just see. Kerbata's even got their own kind of thing going here, and they've got people streaming. Last month they had 16 views on a short video. And the interesting thing about Twitch is it doesn't take a whole lot to become an affiliate to start earning money off of these things. I think you only have to stream for a set amount of hours over the past 7 days, have 50 followers, and have an average of 3 viewers per video, which is easily attainable. Now, it won't make you a ton of money, but it's a start. It's much lower than I think YouTube's requirements are much higher when it comes to a number of hours streamed and how many viewers you need to actually have. But Twitch is, I think, a great starting off point for someone looking for something different, and another way to get involved in Web3 gaming. And not only that, as I've mentioned, kind of help push the narrative and help really expand other people who just don't know about it, and can push us away from the previous Ponzi / DeFi skins that we've seen in the past to actual games that are playable, that look cool, that have a storyline, that aren't all about the APR APY, but is about ownership of your own assets in game, and being able to just play a game and own it and have fun and do whatever you want with it, and just be different than the Web2 pay to play game that's out for a year, and then you got to sink the same cost into basically a reboot of the same game, but you have to start all over again. At least now you own the assets, and the game can update, and you can update your assets with it, and you don't have to continue to buy the same thing over and over. So just food for thought for the week, for people that are looking for new ways and techniques to do stuff. Take a look at it. Let me know what you think, and hopefully this kind of gave you another something to think about while we're in the bear market. Now is the time to focus on yourself, focus on what you're interested in and what you love to do, and find a way to do it. If this is something that fits you, get started and just keep at it. Keep networking, keep building your audience, keep improving your stream setup, and if you're interested, please shoot me a message. I'd be happy to help you get started. I've got my own Twitch channel. If you want to follow me, we'll drop the link down below. It is brand new, so it is still growing as well. So I will happily grow alongside you. If you shoot me a follow, I will follow you back, and we can build during the bear with everybody else. So if this helps, drop a like, throw a subscribe on for us, and it helps the algorithm out, helps us out, and helps us keep trudging through this bear market all together. And I hope to see you on the other side of this thing whenever we get there. So hope you have a great one, and I'll see you next time.